All right. So this is the Beatles' "Sexy Sadie" from the White Album. This was recommended by one of my Patreons. Um, I'm pretty much interested. I've heard a little bit about this song, so let's just see how the Beatles kind of arranged it, how they put it together, and how they processed it. I'm enjoying some of the recommendations so far by my Patreons. It's been so much fun listening to some of these well done songs, you know. Also, since this is from the White Album, I'm supposed to be reacting from the Beatles, like the Inception, all Beatles albums, right? So I'm probably gonna re-listen to this at another time, but this is like a first time listening.
Sexy Sadie, what have you done? You made a fool of everyone. You made a fool of everyone. Sexy Sadie, oh, what have you done? Sexy Sadie, you broke the rules. You laid it down for all to see. You laid it down for all to see. Sexy Sadie, oh, you broke the rules one sunny day. The world was waiting for the lover. She came along to turn on everyone. Sexy Sadie, the greatest of them all. Sexy Sadie, did you know the world was waiting just for you? The world was waiting just for you. Sexy Sadie, oh, how did you know? Sexy Sadie.
All right. So I want to find out something. I just find this song very intriguing so far. So Boyd was telling me that Sadie is not about a woman. It's about the Marahashi, right? Yogi, right? So I'm just trying to get familiar with the concept of a Maharashi, right? So Marahashi. I just need to like she, type it up a little bit just so I can get a fundamental kind of understanding of what a Marahashi is supposed to represent. Because the more I know about what the purpose of a Maharashi is supposed to be, um, I think the more understanding the song gets and the more entertaining it gets in a way, because what Boyd told me a little bit about is kind of like tea. It's really kind of tea, like, oh, this is interesting information. Okay, so the Maharashi is a teacher of spiritual and mystical knowledge, right? So the teacher of spiritual and mystical knowledge, religious sage, often used as an honorary title. So I kind of figured that, but I just wanted to kind of reconfirm it in my mind that I knew exactly what that's supposed to be. Um, so the little background, the little knowledge that I got from Boyd is that Sexy Sadie is basically about this Maharashi, who made kind of like sexual advances to someone a part of their group, right? And as a Maharashi, you're not supposed to be engaging in those types of thoughts and behaviors, and not even extending those even thoughts into actionable things, right? You're not supposed to be entertaining such things, right? But apparently, my good sir, this honorary titled spiritual sage, um, was engaging in those thoughts, and eventually, um, yeah, eventually had the audacity to advance a woman in that regard. So the Beatles kind of wrote this song when they found out that um, this Marashi kind of made those advances to their group mate, and which was like they were probably like baffled. Like, you're supposed to be. We see these things happen. Like, we know that these people are not. They're not what we believe them to be. Some of them struggle with the littlest things and the most things, and they're human beings, right? So of course, Lennon from the Beatles, he learned about it, and then they were leaving, and he was pissed off. So he wrote this track about it, right? But when I'm listening to the track, that's what I was trying to comprehend. When I was listening to the track, I felt like this was such a subtle kind of this. Something like my stepdad. My stepdad is a very intellectually gifted man, and he does not engage in the typical back and forth kind of conflict that you would see, like people shouting and people like uh getting violent. He does not do that at all. He's one who would use his intellect to kind of mince you up, kind of diss you, and it's like if you don't understand it, you kind of get this, and you just leave there like, huh, nothing happened. But he's so satisfied with the way that he chosen to relay his thoughts to you, and he's just happy about that. And it just seems it just seems like Lennon was kind of doing the same thing, using the way he did his song in such a interesting way, because when I'm listening to the song, I don't feel any malice. Is it weird that I don't feel like malice? But when I listen to the lyrics and just sit down, I'm either smiling because the lyrics is just so interesting, but I just don't feel the malice in the song. So it's kind of like a diss track, but it's like with two initial purposes. One, of course, to just make the most uh, crazy lovable track that you would not highlight into something being only a diss track, but also to highlight something interesting that maybe fans would have to think about a little bit longer, or literally it's just a diss track, but it's just made in a different way. So I'm just thinking about that. I didn't sense any kind of hostility in the song.
You'll get yours yet, however big you think you are. However big you think you are. Sexy Sadie, oh, you'll get yours yet. We gave her everything we own just to sit at her table. Just a smile would lighten everything. Sexy Sadie, she's the latest and the greatest of them all. However big you think you
So that was Sexy Sadie. As I was saying, Sexy Sadie, to me, I felt like the song took a minute for you to kind of get. Mostly if you don't know the history, as I said earlier, about why the song is called Sexy Sadie, or why the Beatles decided to write the song, right? There is a bit of a tension in the song. But again, if you don't know, you would just think it's the Beatles. Like, if you know the Beatles' creative process, if you've heard some of their songs, you know that the Beatles sometimes They arrange songs in a particular way that would get you a little bit antsy, that get you a little bit, you know, funny. You would be a little funny about it, a little skeptical, like why? But this song wasn't like openly highlighting hostility. But once you understand it and you know why and you really study it, I think you pick up on that. All right. So Boyd is saying the peculiar chords and the offbeat nature conveys there's something wrong. Of course, it can convey there's something wrong. I know how sometimes when people use specific chords, like maybe minor chords, um, I know that they're heading for something a little bit sad, a little bit reflective, right? But boy, you know the Beatles way better than I do. If you do not know the history or you don't understand the Beatles, right? Don't you think that if you listen to this song, you wouldn't know why, you wouldn't know the intention behind Sexy Sadie? Unless you kind of just listen to it a few times? Or it's just me? The Maharishi seduced the Beatles with his charm like a sexy lady. There it is. There it is. So they came there with lovable and right. So boy says maybe only the Beatles militants really know the true meaning. Because I'm just speaking for somebody new experiencing the Beatles. Like I'm getting to know them. I won't say I know them like 60% yet. I'm still trying to get to learn more about them. But as a newish kind of Beatles fan, right? I'm telling you, if you're new to the Beatles and you listen to one of their songs, you don't instantaneously understand it unless you've had something similar and you can kind of like connect them, or you know their history and you know why, and then you study them. Because once you know them, you understand how they do things, how they process things. But if you don't know them, it's a little bit harder to like, why would they write a song like that? Sexy Sadie? I don't understand. What was Sexy Sadie trying to do? It's like you're trying to piece together it. But because I have my patrons here who are helping me understand this song a little bit, I could now understand the true meaning behind the song.